is going on, Dork Daily? It is your resident Delco Dork Gabe Riberio back with another video. And I brought an interesting topic up this time. I think this is very funny and very interesting. We're going to look at something very, very interesting indeed. We're going to take a trip back almost 70 years to some coffee ads from a legendary puppeteer that led into what almost seems like a proto Itchy and Scratchy. I am talking about the Wilkins Coffee Commercials from 1957 to 1961. There was a legendary puppeteer who was an up-and-coming guy who was working in advertising. You may or may not have heard of him. The late, great Jim Henson. Jim was commissioned by the Wilkins Coffee Company to make a series of commercials to promote their coffee between 1957 and 1961 when he was working on his show, Sam and Friends, that was also airing on The Tonight Show with Steve Allen. A lot of people think that the one character in this is a proto-Kermit. That's not actually the case. Kermit predates it. But we have two characters here named Wilkins and Wonkins. It's a very simple setup. Wilkins is trying to persuade Wilkins to drink Wilkins coffee. He always says no, and that leads to some shenanigans where there's just some outrageous violence, and it escalates like crazy. There are hundreds of commercials out there that Jim was commissioned, and that the scenarios are absolutely ridiculous. If you can see one behind me, a hand just comes into frame and shoots Wilkins for wanting to do it. It comes off like an early Itchy and Scratchy prototype for The Simpsons. There are some funny scenarios where there's a guillotine threat. He gets stabbed in the back. There's one where there's an alley and he pulls out a gun. There's one where he gets pushed out of a plane. There's a William Tell Jr. kind of bit where there's an arrow and an apple in the head. He gets shot off frame and he says, "We can at least use the apple again." There's so many funny scenarios. It's so crazy, like something like this passed for a coffee commercial in the late 50s and early 60s. Again, it was a different time, and at the end of the day, they are puppets. But kudos to Jim Henson for coming up with these funny scenarios to just get people to drink coffee, because his mindset was, I'm not going to do the straightforward pitch. I'd like to make it fun and entertaining and hook them really quick. And to think, that's hilarious. I'm going to drink this coffee. There is a compilation on YouTube that's almost 15 minutes. I don't know if it's all of them, but some of these scenarios are so funny. You can see, I'm wondering if the Simpsons writers took inspiration for Itchy and Scratchy with some of these ads, because Jim was just an influence throughout his entire career. And it's so funny, being a big Muppets fan that I am, and just Jim Henson in general, to find these old coffee commercials with just these hilarious scenario of these two puppets, and one just getting decimated, just constantly, just annihilated in the funniest of ways, just over coffee. It was unusually dark for the time. Again, it was 57 to 61. TVs were around, but not every family had one. I'm almost certain that my parents didn't even have one until the mid to late 60s. So you saw these ads. So if you did have a TV at the time, I'm sure these things entertain you, and I'm sure they got you to buy Wilkins coffee. I haven't heard of it, but I guess they went defunct, maybe because they lost Jim. But these things are hilarious, hidden gem. If you're digging up old Jim Henson projects, they are hilarious. I would definitely recommend finding the compilation on YouTube. It's so funny. But that's just what I think. Are you guys familiar with the Wilkins coffee ads with Wilkins and Wonkins? Did you know about this and what Jim Henson worked on with these dark puppet scenarios? Let me know down in the comments. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And from Dork Daily, this is Gabe Riberio, and I'll see you guys next time.
Care for a cup of Wilkins coffee?
No, I don't like coffee.